Hello, fellow planeswalkers. You have stumbled upon my plane, the plane of Spaventoso, where we speculate over magic cards. And today, we're speculating over legacy cards. Been doing Commander cards the last couple of episodes. Wanted to get back to format I'm a little bit more familiar with. We're starting off today with Borigomos Enraged from Gatecrash. Silly little card. It's got trample. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, reveal the top 3 cards of your library. Put all land cards revealed this way into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Discard a land card, and it deals 3 damage to target creature or player, 7/6. And you're going to be cheating it out normally, so the casting cost doesn't quite matter. But I've been seeing this card in a couple of decks. It's pretty cheap right now on TCG Player, about 40 cents. The list of decks according to MTG decks. 104 Reanimator decks are using it. And some Tin Fin decks, Sneak Attack and Sneak and Show are each all trying it out. And even over in Modern, there's some player in Neoform that tried it. But yeah, a lot of Reanimator decks have been slotting this guy in. Maybe to get some extra damage in, to remove some blockers, have an extra big body to attack with. The trample probably helps as well. On eBay, pretty nice Ravnica remastered version, about $1.50. And there's a foil one here for $1.50 as well. That might be a good addition to your collection. You probably don't need more than one unless you have a couple of different Reanimator decks. TCG players listing them pretty cheap as well. Just be careful for the shipping charges unless you want a serialized copy, and then you might be fronting $100 or $200 depending on if it's a favorable number or not. The next card on the list is Kappa Cannoneer. This is the Kamigawa Neon Dynasty Commander version. Previously was about $20, $15 again once it was announced that it would be Modern legal. That's when I sold a bunch of my copies, made some money, and then I bought them all back for under $2. And on the MTG decks, the decks that are using them in Legacy exclusively, Painter Grindstone Affinity. And there's some other decks that are testing them out as well. Used to be a 4 of, not so much anymore. Vintage and Modern both use it. So as Zorius Artifacts or Temur Breach, maybe a Modern Affinity, they might do well in a tournament, and it could spike the prices, especially the foil ones. But if you don't have any, I'd pick up a few since they are used in a couple of decks. A play set or 2 for this cheap isn't a bad deal. And about 50 cents on TCG Player, under $1 for the Retro Fame. You might even be able to find foil copies for pretty cheap. And Thought Monitor is the next card. It has affinity for artifacts flying. When Thought Monitor enters, draw 2 cards. And it is under $1, which is pretty cheap for a rare. Legacy, Affinity, Painter Grindstone, Modern Blue, Mono Blue Karn, all using it. Modern, a couple of Modern decks are as well. I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe not so much in Vintage. And on eBay, $2 you're looking at. I think you might be able to find some cheaper maybe in people's bulk trade collection, or maybe TCG Player might have a few copies, yeah, for under $1. Showcase is under 50 cents. So if you find a seller that is selling a lot of copies, you might be able to get that free shipping and pick up a bunch for a good deal. Howl Squad Heavy is next from Aether Drift. This is kind of a newer one. 2 in red, Goblin Mercenary, start your engines. Other goblins you control have haste. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. That token attacks this turn. Able. Max speed, tap, add red for each goblin you control. And it's a 2/3. Initially, the card was over 5. It has since tanked and leveled out to about a little over $1. On MTG decks, you can see Goblins in Legacy has been using this the most, but also Mono Red Prison has been trying it out. A couple of lists. Even Standard Goblins are using it. I'm not sure so much in Modern, but if you like Goblins or you play Mono Red Prison, this might be something you want to add to your collection. I found a foil one here for about $2, if that's what you're looking for. I think this borderless one might be nice. I'm not particularly fond of the art, but you might be. And we move on to TCG Player. It'll show 50 cents, the first place foil, and the borderless first place foil at just under $20. Hydroelectric Specimen from Modern Horizons 3 is the next card on our list. 2 and a blue for a weird creature with flash. When it enters, you may change the target of target instant or sorcery spell with a single target to Hydroelectric Specimen. But it also is a land that can enter untapped if you pay 3 life. The card reached a high price of about $3. It has since kind of gone back down, I think, as more people have been opening these packs. Even the foil version looks pretty reasonably priced. Legacy Oops, all spells, is making the most use out of this, but also Esper Stoneblade, Paradoxical Outcome, Modern, Mono Blue Belcher, and a little bit of Living End. And then Vintage, the Spy combo. Using it, maybe some Merfolk's players trying it out too. On eBay, it's about $2 for an uncommon. That is a little pricey, but it is one of the flip lands. Some of the others are way more expensive than that, so it might be a good time to get in on the ground floor. If you can find them under $1 on TCG Player, get that free shipping. I think that might be worth it. Unclaimed Territory from Ixalan. As it enters, choose a creature type, tap, add colorless, tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to cast spells of the chosen type. I remember I picked this up, it was just about $4, and it's since gone downhill. And in Legacy, Eldrazi, Stompy, and humans are using it, but I know there's some sliver decks. My wife's sliver deck uses a couple of these copies. I've seen some sliver decks slot this in as well. Eldrazi Ramp, Eldrazi Aggro, humans, yeah, Modern Slivers is using it. And Pioneer a little bit as well. And a Pauper deck is using it. eBay, $1.50 for Lost Caverns, Modern Horizons $3.50. That's probably about as good a deal you get right now. TCG Player, you might be able to pick them up for cheaper if you buy enough from the seller to get their free shipping. There's quite a few copies, and I think that's what tanked the price. This Retro Frame Gateway promo would be the one I'd be targeting. Narcomoeba is next. This one is from Future Sight. About $2.17. Card's going back up. So now might be the time to snag some if you don't have any. It's used in a handful of decks. The Nadu or Cephalid Breakfast decks are using it. Oops All Spells, Dredge, Vintage, Icarid, Spy Combo, Hermit, Modern Dredge, Belcher, Oops All Spells, even Pioneer, and now we're starting to get some classic Legacy as well. I'm not sure that's going to drive the price on any of these, but eBay has some copies for just over $1, $1.50. If you don't mind the Guild of Ravnica art. And on TCG Player, I'd be going for these Future Sight ones with the different border. Probably about $2 is what you're looking at, but if you don't mind, you can get a retro frame for maybe between 50 cents and $1. There's even a pre-release one for about $1 too. Then Metallic Rebuke, a 3-volt, 2 and a blue, instant improvise. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 3. This card is starting to disconnect a little bit from the foil, and that's kind of how you can tell it's getting hot. But the non-foil is still pretty cheap, under 30 cents. On to the decks that use it. Painter, Grindstone, Affinity, and Mud, the blue version of Painter. Mono blue artifacts, Modern, quite a few more decks. Azorius artifacts, Affinity, Jeskai Ascendancy, Thopper Control, and Pauper's using it too. There's quite a few formats that are making use of this card, and about $1.15 on eBay. If you can find a foil for under $4, you might be doing good. Not sure if this is on a reprint target list or not. There's 3 different copies here. It's on the list. But if you don't have any of these, there are quite a few decks that use them, so it might be worth adding to your collection. The next card, Lava Spur Boots from Thunder Junction. It was almost $3. It's since gone back down about $1 for an uncommon. It has equipped creatures get +1, +0, and haste and ward 1 for equip 1, which is pretty good. Painter Grindstone's using it. This Lands deck's using it. Affinity, Dreadnought, Beseech Storm, even a bunch of modern decks. Standard is testing it out a little bit. And on eBay, we have 4 copies for $8. About $2 is probably what you're looking at. Still pretty good price, 78 cents on TCG Player. There's 605 listings, so quite a few. I'm not sure how much more of this set is going to be opened, so might want to pick it up because I think a lot of Commander players might be using this one also. Thespian Stage is our next card. Was over $4, but some reprints have kind of tanked the price to under $2. Lots of decks in Legacy like this card. Lands, Green-White Depths, Dark Depths, 12-post, Black Helm. Even some Reanimator decks are having a little land juke maybe with some Dark Depths. I'm not sure how much modern or historic or Pioneer. Maybe some Vintage? No. Yeah, Pioneer, there's a Lotus Field combo deck using it. But Legacy is going to be the main format for this guy on eBay. Looking at just about $2. Might be able to get this Doctor Who version with a little play going on in the artwork. And there's quite a few versions on TCG Player. The Secret Lair is $7 or $8. Surge foil, rainbow foil, white bordered. I don't know who likes white bordered, but if you like white bordered, they're pretty cheap. I'd probably be looking at this retro frame one right here. And to go along with that Thespian Stage, we have Dark Depths. Oh, I remember when this card was not about 30, but yeah, about 15, 20. It has since tanked in price. $2 you're looking at. Same sort of decks as the Thespian Stage that like this card. Vintage Lands player trying it out too. On eBay, $3.50, $4. Might be able to find a better deal on TCG Player if you pick up a playset or this and a couple other copies from the same seller. You might be able to grab a good deal I think I was able to pick up some of the foil ones from a set a while back. From the vault foil. And that is my list today of 11 legacy cards you should be buying if you don't have any in your collection. Thanks for watching, and check out the playlist for more similar videos.